What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. I appreciate the love and support as always. Man, I got an interesting story for y'all tonight. I need y'all to watch this one all the way to the end. It's crazy. It's really like a movie, man. But y'all know what I need y'all to do. Be sure to like, comment, share the videos. Man, I check out all the comments. I don't want y'all to think I'm ignoring y'all. I read everything. I just can't respond to everything. Let's get into it. So tonight we're going to talk about Davon Mayer, William King, and Antonio Murray. Davon Mayer grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. Growing up, Davon's parents wasn't much around. His father spent most of his time in prison, and his mom fell victim to drugs and chasing her next high. So Davon was raised by his grandmother with his sister and cousin. Davon was understanding that his grandmother couldn't take care of their needs in the household and his wants at the same time. So Davon started creeping out to the corners to try to make some money. The game started influencing him young. Like most young men, Davon wanted to get fresh, had the newest shoes, and money in his pockets. Davon's grandmother even started playing around in the game. Feeling the pressure of school clothes, Christmas shopping, bills, and food, she decided to hustle on the side. Davon approached his friend one day who was hustling for another dude in West Baltimore in efforts to get into business, so Davon's homeboy took him to the plug. They met in between some apartments on Pennsylvania Avenue in West Baltimore. Davon was nervous. As the plug looked him up and down, he handed Davon a bag with 50 purple tops already. Davon was in the game. He would make his first sale that day. He turned around and seen a cheese line right behind him and got off the whole pack in minutes. Davon couldn't believe it. He went back to the plug and got another pack and got that all off too. But as the front game goes, after making $750, he only walked away with 75 of it. He didn't care because he had his own money. Over the summer, Davon's shoebox grew. He was able to support himself, buy shoes, and everything else. One day, Davon was bragging about some Jordans he bought, and his mother overheard him. She asked him where he got the shoes from. "I got them from my homeboy," Davon replied. His mom didn't believe him. She called Davon's father, who just got out of jail a year earlier, and he warned Davon to stay out the streets. But he was back on Pennsylvania Avenue the next day. He was hooked on the money and the thrill of the street life. He moved away from home 1 week later after that. Building up his rep for being a hustler, Davon's plug gave him bigger packs. He was making over $500 a day and moved into some apartments where he first hit the block at. He was living with a fiend named Lisa who let him stay in a spare bedroom. At night, Davon would lay in the empty room and cry for missing home. But at this point, it was too late. One day on late afternoon in 2000, Davon decided to hit the block he was trapping and got stopped by the police. Actually decided to get locked up. It would earn him some stripes. But being a minor, Davon was released that same day. The police took him back to his mother's house. Over the next few days, he debated whether to go back to the avenue, but he didn't want to go to prison, so he decided it was better to go to school. From the first day of school, Davon felt restless, and his desire to go back on the block was lit. He didn't fit in. Everybody was fresh, and he felt like he took a major status drop since he stopped trapping. Davon was frustrated, so he decided to start back dabbling in the streets. After school, he would hit the block for a couple hours before going home. By winter, he saved up enough money to buy his first whip, a Grand Marquis. He didn't want his mother or grandmother to see it, so he parked it a few blocks from the home. 10th grade year, Davon's grandmother died. 2 years later, he would lose his father, who was hit up in retaliation for something else. That night, for the first time, he got drunk. Sitting alone, he broke down crying, wondering why he was so hurt about a father he barely knew. Around about this time, Davon quit school and was taking off in the streets. He learned from others who hustled and stayed stagnant. He hustled night and day to move up. He graduated from Ready Rock to Smack and was making almost $1,500 a day. This is where the game changes. Davon was arrested in 2004, but let go. He thought that was strange. Weeks later, Officer William King approached Davon and told him he was watching him and liked the way he did business. Confused, Davon wanted to know what the officer's motive was. Davon was worried about the police trying to get him to turn informant. The cop was soft-spoken and laid back. Unlike his partner, Antonio Murray, who the hood was terrified of. The duo rode around, spinning a few blocks. Officer King got straight to the point. He wanted Davon to tell him where the hustlers did their stash so he could raid them. Davon's heart dropped. That's what he was worried about. The officer continued telling Davon the plan. After the raids, they would turn in some of the product and give him the rest of wholesale for the low. Davon looked the officer up and down, thinking this could be a setup, but saw the officer was dead serious. Davon was nervous, but thought if it worked out, he could fly past other hustlers. Finally, Davon said absolutely. A few days later, Davon got a call from Officer King, telling him to meet him at a McDonald's over East Baltimore. Davon pulled up, and both cops were in the back of the truck. There were 4 or 5 boxes with 12 pounds of exotic grass. The officers wanted him to move it and wholesale it. The game was on. Davon flipped it for 12 racks. Davon continued doing business with the officers. They would make busts and bring him the narcotics so he could sell for wholesale. Davon usually knew who the packs came from by the color of the vials. He would just repackage the product and flip it in another hood. When he was done, he would give the officers their cut. But Officer King had expensive taste and saw Davon was shining. He started getting jealous. The officers were desperate to make more money. They started following Davon while he was making side moves. They wanted him to set his friends up. Davon wasn't with it. The officers told Davon, "We got enough to take you down." Things got crazy. Davon got arrested, and none other than Officer King did the interrogation. King threatened Davon with prison time and violence. Davon was tired of it. Feeling powerless and helpless, he found himself Googling the FBI's number. At the time, Davon was only 17, scared of the consequences, but he finally called. Days later, he met with a Fed and lessened the terrorist projects. He told the agents everything. The FBI couldn't believe it. Davon came up with a plan to give Officer King a fake tip on the trap house, but this time the narcotics would be fake. The night Davon went to the Fed secretly to meet Officer King, but Davon had a recorder in his pocket. The Feds was on the officers. Davon kept playing the game while the Feds watched and taped the officers' phones as well. By early May 2005, the FBI felt like they had enough evidence to take the officers down. They picked both cops up and showed them and played them tons of evidence. They were done for. The case went to trial in March 2006. Davon was the first witness to take the stand. The Feds moved Davon to a hotel in Baltimore County as threats poured in. Davon never thought of what he would do after all this was over. Thinking it was like the movies, he thought he would get moved out of town, get some money, and live happily ever after with his girlfriend. But the FBI couldn't take care of Davon no more. They gave him $1,500 and cut him off on his own. Davon eventually got a job making $9 an hour at Walmart, but he eventually went back to the streets. But he would soon later enroll in college and become a computer tech, supporting his family. As for Officer King and Murray, they received 454 years in prison after getting found guilty. In Davon's case and other hustlers coming forward, their names were even mentioned in the Stop Snitching DVD. The cost of the game for the officers in Davon, but hey, that's the Baltimore way. Man, that's a crazy story. So basically, Davon was getting money. He was like 16 at the time, but the officers, they pulled up on him and got him to hustle for them. Dirty, man. You feel me? That's dirty, you feel me? But yeah, man, that's the end of this one, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Be sure to like, comment. If you're new to the fam, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Be sure to share the video. Love y'all, fam. I'm out.